A Chief Magistrate's court sitting in Nairobi ruled today that 3 out of 4 suspects accused of aiding in the terror attack on Nairobi's Westgate Mall in September 2013 have a case to answer. One suspect was, however, acquitted of all the charges he faced.
The defence will now answer to charges of a terrorist act and conspiracy to commit a terrorist act. 71 people, among them 4 suspected terrorists, were killed during the 4-day siege in one of the worst terrorist attacks on Kenyan soil.
The 4 suspects faced a total of 12 counts, some jointly and others separately. They jointly faced charges of commission of a terrorist act and conspiracy to commit a terrorist act in relation to the Westgate Mall attack in September 2013. None of them are accused of being the gunmen who took part in the attack. The 4 had earlier in the trial pleaded not guilty to all the charges. The Somali-based Al-Shabaab militant group claimed responsibility for the attack. The mall siege, which lasted 4 days, left at least 67 people dead and about 100 injured. Authorities believe 4 men who carried out the attack were killed inside the mall.
I'm satisfied that the prosecution has made out a prima facie case to warrant the accused persons to be called upon to offer defenses.
After 5 years behind bars, one of the accused, Adan Deg, walked free.
The 3rd accused person is acquitted of all the charges facing him and is henceforth set at liberty.
The case will be mentioned on Monday next week. Sarah Kimani, SABC News, Kenya.
Let's go now to Sarah Kimani in Kenya. Good evening, Sarah. Describe what happened in court today.
Sorry, I didn't get you. Could you please repeat the question? Good evening.
Give us a bigger picture of what happened in court today.
Well, the 4 suspects came into the courtroom at about 9 a.m., all of them with handcuffs, and they were led into the dock at exactly 9:30 when the Chief Magistrate, Francis, and I came into court. Now, unlike many of the suspects in such cases who you will find covering their faces or looking, forlorn, they looked directly at the cameras and around the courtroom, probably because this case has been going on so long. It started in 2014 and only almost coming to conclusion now. So they're used to being in court. About 145 witnesses have testified in this case. And so when the charges were read out, when the ruling was read out, the one, Mr. Adan Deg, who was acquitted of all charges, smiled and raised his hands briefly in the air, and then he was led out of the courtroom. Now, the other 3 had to remain in court as the judge read out to them what will happen from now onwards.
Sarah, why was that 4th suspect acquitted?
Well, the judge, the Chief Magistrate, said that he did not find enough evidence from what the prosecutor gave to charge him with charges which included conspiracy to commit a terrorist act, working together with the terrorists, and also being in the country illegally. So they said that he was free. Remember, some of these suspects had been gotten from the Kakuma refugee camp, but he was among those who were arrested from one of the towns here in the city, which are populated with a lot of Somalis. And so he called Italy, and so he will be going back home to join his family in Italy later this week.
And Sarah, what's the public reaction like to that acquittal and to this trial in general?
Well, just before this ruling, we had spoken to people who are victims or people who lost their family members in the attack, because today's ruling came after an adjournment about 2 weeks ago, and most of them almost like giving up. They say the case has taken too long, and they're saying they almost do not feel like justice will be served. One of the reasons they say that is because the suspects who appeared in court today are actually not charged with carrying out the attack per se, but they are charged with conspiracy or working together with those who may have carried out the attack. It is believed that the 4 people who carried out the attack and the siege for 4 days actually died in the mall.
Sarah Kimani giving us an update live from Kenya on that Westgate court case.